Hello, and welcome to a Life Soul podcast, where we explore personal growth, high performance, and intentional living. I am Wasim Balani, and I believe life isn't just about getting through the day, it is about becoming fully alive in everything we do. Through my journey, whether in medicine as a heart rhythm cardiologist, cycling and running, or personal development, I've learned that success isn't just about reaching goals, but about who you become along the way. This podcast is here to inspire and challenge you to push your limits, cultivate discipline, and live with purpose. Join me each week as we dive into ideas, reflections, and practical strategies to help you grow into your best self. Let's get started. Hey there, and welcome to today's episode. Have you ever started something with so much excitement, maybe a new workout routine, a new habit, or a personal goal, only to find yourself completely off track a few weeks later? Yeah, me too. We all struggle with sticking to things at some point. Life gets in the way, motivation fades, and before we know it, we're back where we started, sometimes even further behind. And honestly, that cycle could be really frustrating. I've been there myself more than once. I remember a time, about 10 years ago, when I watched a marathon runners racing through the streets of Chicago, right near where I lived. I was so inspired. I thought, this is amazing, I should do this one day. So I got motivated. I laced up my shoes and started running. And for a few days I was consistent, but then I stopped. Why? Because I was running on pure motivation. I did not have a clear why. I wasn't in for the long run, literally. I wanted instant results, but when I did not see a quick reward, the motivation faded and I quit. And that's a problem most of us face. We think motivation is enough, but it is not. Fast forward to the day, and running feels completely different to me. Now I have a clear goal. I know why I'm running. Every time I run, I see progress. I set new challenges, and I feel a real sense of reward. The difference? I'm no longer relying on motivation. I've built consistency, and that's what keeps me going. That's why today we're talking about how to make consistency your superpower so that you don't have to rely on motivation alone. Instead, you learn how to build the habits and the systems that will keep you going long after the motivation and the excitement wears off. So let's get into it. For the longest time, I believed success came from big efforts, intense workouts, all nighters, those bursts of motivation where you feel unstoppable. But that's not how real progress happens. It happens in the small, consistent actions you take every day. Things that seem insignificant in the moment but compound over time. In his book, The Compound Effect, Darren Hardy explains how tiny repeated actions creates massive long-term results. For example, think of two people. One walks for 10 minutes a day, the other does nothing. A month later, no difference. A year later, just small changes. But 5 years later, the first person is healthier, fitter, and stronger, not because of a single big effort, but because of a small daily choices that compounded. And that's how consistency works. Take Michael Phelps, for example, one of the most decorated Olympian swimmers of all time. People assume he's naturally gifted, but here's what they don't see. For 5 years straight, he trained every single day. That is 365 days a year, with no breaks or any off season times. Even on days he did not feel like it, he got in the pool. And that's why he became the greatest, not because he was the most talented, but because he was the most consistent. And this applies to everything in life, whether in fitness, learning, career growth, or even relationships. One of my favorite personal examples of the compound effect is my push-up training. There was a time when I could barely do 2 push-ups, and I mean struggling. But instead of quitting, I started with daily incline push-ups, something manageable. I kept at it, slowly lowering the incline as I got stronger. And in 2 months, I went from barely doing 2 push-ups to 30 full push-ups. It wasn't one magic workout that made the difference. It was showing up daily, even when I did not see the immediate results. Now let's talk about why consistency works at a scientific level. In his book Atomic Habits, James Clear explains how habits are formed in the brain. Our brain follows a four-step process every time we form a habit. Number one, a cue. This is the trigger that tells your brain to start a behavior. Number two, craving. Your brain creates a desire for the action. Number three, response. This is the action itself, the habit you perform. Number four, the reward. Your brain experiences a benefit, reinforcing the habit. Let's say you want to start running. Your cue could be setting your running shoes by the door. Your craving might be the rush of energy you get after the workout. Your response is actually going for the run, and your reward is feeling accomplished, healthier, or even the satisfaction of checking it off your list. Now, here's when it gets really interesting, the so-called neuroplasticity. Basically, every time you repeat an action, your brain strengthens the neural connections related to that habit. It's like carving a path in the woods. The more you walk that path, the clearer and the easier it becomes. At first, a new habit feels hard because the pathway is barely visible. But the more you repeat it, the more automatic it becomes. That's why showing up every day is so important. Even if it's just a small action, you are strengthening the neuron pathways and making the habits easier over time. I've seen this play out in my life. When I first started cycling, I wasn't riding 100 miles. My early rides weren't impressive, but I committed to showing up even for short rides. Some days I didn't feel like getting on the bike, but I told myself, just start. Just go for 30 minutes. Over time, those small efforts added up. Fast forward, I've done multiple 100-mile rides, not because of a secret formula, just because I kept showing up. The same thing happened with running. When I started, even a few miles felt like a struggle. Some days I felt great, other days I questioned why I'm even doing it. But I did not quit. I wasn't aiming for perfection, just small, consistent progress. And guess what? The distances got longer, my pace improved, and suddenly I was running farther than I ever thought possible. The same goes for blogging. When I started my blog, I did not know if anyone would even read it. Some weeks I wasn't in the mood to write, but I told myself, just show up, just write. And now I've written 22 articles, and I've built a blog that reaches people, not because of the one perfect post, but because of showing up, post after post, week after week. And that's the power of consistency. Now that we understand why consistency matters and how habits are formed, let's talk about how we actually implement it in our life. It's about having a clear strategy to stay consistent even when motivation fades. So here's 7 strategies that help me and hopefully will help you become more consistent in whatever you want to do in life. Number 1, find your why. Make it deep and personal. If you don't have a strong reason, you'll quit when things get tough. A weak why sounds like, I should probably eat healthier. I guess I should start exercising. I should wake up earlier. Those whys won't last. And the opposite, a strong why is deeply personal and meaningful. For example, you could say, I want to eat healthier so I can have more energy to play with my kids and be around for them in the long run. Or you could say, I want to exercise because I don't want to feel tired all the times. I want to feel strong and confident in my body. Another example of a strong why is to say, I want to wake up earlier because I want more quiet time in the morning to work on myself before the world wakes up. So how to find your why? Let's take running for example. First, write down the habit or the goal you're trying to be consistent with. For example, you can say, I want to run 3 times a week. Second, ask yourself why this matters to you. So your answer should be, I want to get in shape, for example. Third, dig deeper. Why does that matter to you? You could say, because I want to feel healthier and have more energy. Lastly, go even deeper. Why does this matter even more? You could say, because I want to set a good example for my kids and prove to myself that I can stay committed to something. By the time you get to the deepest layer of your why, you will have something powerful enough to keep you consistent even on the hard days. Strategy number 2, lower the bar. Start smaller than you think. Most people fail at consistency because they try to do too much at once. Think about the New Year's resolutions. Many people decide they're going to go to the gym 5 times a week, wake up at 5 a.m., and maybe read a book a week. Then, by February, they all quit. Why? Because they tried to go from 0 to 100 instantly. If you want to get fit, start with a 5 minutes movement a day. If you want to read more, start with 1 page of a book a day. And if you want to wake up earlier, set your alarm just 10 minutes earlier each day. The bottom line that you need to start with easy and small habits that you can stay consistent at and keep showing up day after day. Strategy number 3, focus on the I don't feel like it days. Success isn't built on the days when you feel motivated. It's built on the days when you don't feel like showing up, but you do it anyways. Think about a time when you really did not want to work out, write, or do something productive, but you pushed through anyways. How did you feel afterward? Probably proud, accomplished, and energized. Now, compare that to a day when you skipped something you knew you should have done. That small decision affected your confidence. And here's the truth. Every time you don't show up, you make it easier to quit next time. But every time you follow through, even a little, you strengthen your discipline and confidence in yourself. So next time you don't feel like doing something, ask yourself, what kind of person I am? Someone who follows through, or someone who only takes action when it's convenient? Then show up just a little bit, even if it's not perfect. Strategy number 4, build a system, not just a goal. Goals give you direction, but systems create results. For example, if you want to exercise consistently, set out your clothes the night before. If you want to pray on time, set an alarm that actually makes you stop and do it. Or if you want to read more, keep a book where you'll see it every day. Make it easy to start and consistency will follow. Strategy number 5, use the never miss twice rule. Here's the thing, life happens. You will miss a day. But what matters is that you never let yourself miss twice. If you miss a workout, a writing session, or anything else, just pick it up the next day. It's easy to fall into the mindset of, well, I already missed one day, so what's the harm of skipping another? But that's how inconsistency starts. One day won't ruin your progress, but 2, 3, or 4 can turn into a habit of quitting. The key is to bounce back quickly. Treat missed days like a speed bump, not a roadblock. Strategy number 6, track your progress. Make it visible. One of the easiest ways to stay consistent is to see your progress. Have you ever started a habit, but after a few weeks, you feel like nothing is changing? That's when most people quit, because they can't see their progress. That's why tracking is so important. It gives you proof that you're moving forward, even when it doesn't feel like it. And it doesn't have to be complicated. If you're working out, put an X on a calendar every time you exercise. If you're reading, track how many days in a row you've read. And if you're trying to build a habit, write it down somewhere just so you can see it. Once you start tracking, you won't want to break that streak. And on days you don't feel motivated, looking back at your progress will remind you why you started and why you should keep going. So make it visible. Seeing progress is what keeps you showing up. And lastly, strategy number 7, give yourself a grace, but get back on track. Let's be real, no one is perfect. You're going to miss days, and that's okay. What's not okay is beating yourself up over it. Guilt does not help you move forward, action does. There is a difference between holding yourself accountable and being overly hard on yourself. If you missed a workout, don't call yourself lazy, just move your body today. If you skip writing, don't label yourself inconsistent, just sit down and write something, even if it's small. If you overslept, don't say you're failing, just reset your alarm for tomorrow and try again. Consistency isn't about being perfect, It's about getting back on track over and over again. So if you slip up, don't waste energy feeling guilty. Use that energy to take action. So let's recap those 7 strategies. Number 1, find your why. Make it deep and personal. Number 2, lower the bar. Start smaller than you think. Number 3, focus on the days that you don't feel like it. Number 4, build a system, not just a goal. Number 5, use the never miss twice rule. Number 6, track your progress and make it visible. And lastly, number 7, give yourself a grace, but get back on track. Alright, so here's what I want you to take away from this. Consistency isn't about big dramatic efforts. It's about small actions repeated over time. It's about showing up even on the days you don't feel like it. And here's the real question. What kind of person you're telling yourself you are? Are you someone who only takes action when it's easy? Or are you someone who shows up and follows through no matter what? The choice is yours. So here's my challenge for you. Pick one habit, just one, start today. Make it so small so you cannot fail. Stick to it for the next 30 days. And when you don't feel like it, show up anyways, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Because every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. Because your future self, they're watching. The choices you make today are shaping the person you'll be tomorrow. So start now. Pick one habit, make it small, and commit to it. Not someday, not tomorrow, today. Alright guys, that's it for this episode. Stay strong, stay consistent, and I'll see you in the next time. Alright guys, I appreciate you and I cannot wait to hear about the bold steps you take this week. And if you like this episode, please share it with people around you because we all grow better when we do it together.